Someone in the comments section said something about constructive criticism. I tried to explain it's not that easy to do anymore without being called a hater or whatever else anyways. So people often choose to be a dick because they're going to be treated like a dick anyhow. And that's how society tends to work nowadays. No matter how polite you are or constructive you try to be with your criticism, someone is always going to be there to put words into your mouth, twist what you said, and treat you like an asshole. And when you have companies like Volition doing this, calling people haters just because they feel confused, let down, or disappointed, well, you might have people following suit. I was always told to try to lead by example, and these companies are setting a bad example as far as I'm concerned. Is it possible to be disappointed or let down in this day and age without being labeled as a hater or whatever else? I mean, it's absurd, right? We're just sharing different opinions and we should be able to live with them. I've also been told that I should chill out until the game comes out and then talk. To an extent, I would agree with that. We shouldn't be reviewing games before they come out. The truth is, nobody knows exactly what that experience is going to be like until they play it, until the game comes out. There could be a bunch of stuff in there that's like, whoa, I had no idea that was even going to be in there. What a nice surprise. However, we should be free to talk about and discuss amongst each other what we have seen thus far. Not just from a gameplay point of view, but also how these developers chose to respond to criticism. Constructive criticism, okay? But my question to you is, if you're telling me that I have to chill out and wait because I have some negative critiques about what I have witnessed in the past, I don't know how long it's been, then you should also be telling these people who are being overly optimistic or, positive about the game, that they should also chill out and wait. I personally believe it's fair game. And if someone wants to be excited about it, they have the right to be. If they want to make a video talking about how hyped they are, go for it. I encourage it. I mean, that's what this world's all about. Sharing our experiences and our thoughts with other people. So, trying to discredit people because they have different opinions than you do, or to try and discourage people from even sharing them in the first place using the shitty tactics that these companies have trained you to do. Companies like Volition, I highly recommend that you don't, because when all is said and done, we get better games, we get better treatment, we get much further as consumers if we're able to get along. This is exactly what the companies don't want. They want to divide us because it's easier to conquer our wallets if we're scattered about and constantly fighting with each other. They don't want solidarity. As far as my constructive criticism is concerned, well, here it is. Because it seems like in some major ways we are starting from scratch, I would have liked to have seen a more innovative approach. Anytime a company is doing a reboot or an offshoot, I'm not sure exactly what you call it, but when they're not doing a numbered entry, right? I think that's when they should be taking the most chances, because you have nothing to lose. You can always say, hey guys, it was a side thing, not a main thing. Okay, the main thing is still coming out. This was just something on the side. Fans are always more understanding when it's not a numbered entry, okay? And a part of me just feels like they did the direct opposite. They played it incredibly safe. I'm not going to get into details or discussion as to why I think they did it, okay? Many of us have a good idea. I'm going to keep this strictly gameplay, constructive criticism, nothing more, nothing less, okay? One of the things I liked most about Saints Row is that you had multiple different gangs that were all interesting and unique in their own way. And that was not just awesome from a storytelling perspective, but it also translated directly into gameplay. Quite often, your strategy would depend on who you were actually fighting. I remember using launchers and grenades more when fighting the luchadors, for example. Another example is the Ronin. They were better equipped to fight you close combat, so that was just something you had to be mindful of. And I loved that. I loved that dynamic. It kept the gameplay from feeling repetitive. It kept it interesting. And so, drumroll please. Why not give us a map that's already divided into so many sections, include every single gang that's ever been in the franchise, and allow us to pick whatever gang that we want. Create alliances and peace treaties with other gangs while being at war with others. Fight over territory, which reminds me of that online Sleeping Dogs game. I don't remember what happened to that game, but although the execution wasn't that great, they had some cool ideas. Kinda focused on territory, and I don't think many games have really done the whole territory thing justice. I think PlanetSide does a good job at actually making it feel like a tug of war, but in any event, I think they could have done many things with the Saints Row franchise. I think they could have also included some sort of a pawn system where we make gangbangers and other players can actually add your gangbanger, to their roster, like a gun for hire sort of thing. And of course, while gangbangers can't just go hanging out with any gang they want, as long as there's an alliance, you can choose one of those guns for hire. Where do you come across them? In strip clubs, on the block. Perhaps they even come to your compound. There's a couple of really unique gameplay mechanics that I feel like haven't been tapped into enough, and the Dragon's Dogma pawn system is one of them. However, I think the ultimate system that could be utilized by a game like Saints Row is the Shadow of War Nemesis system. Seems like it would be a perfect fit for a game that also has captains, lieutenants, and lower level thugs. If a rival gangbanger took you out, you could either handle it yourself or send one of your underlings, even a hired gun. Of course, the hired gun isn't doing this as a charity. He will take back a good amount of money and experience for his dirty deeds. Here's the thing, guys. I understand you can't tell much from just little snippets of gameplay. It's not fair to be overly critical and review something before it's even out. I agree with that 100%. However, let me just take a minute and explain where my criticism comes from. When you've been around as long as I have, red flags and telltale signs that a game is just going to be average or below, here's something you should know and applies to almost every game. Developers are always going to show you what they feel is some of their strongest gameplay, slices of content that they believe is going to get the consumer excited and hyped up. And so when I see the gameplay that they've currently been showing, in my mind I'm saying to myself, this is the first time I have seen Saints Row gameplay and it hasn't intrigued me. It hasn't made me laugh. It hasn't made me feel anything, to be honest with you. That doesn't necessarily mean anything because the game could obviously be packed with all these amazing different activities that they haven't shown yet. I'm just saying that usually that's not how it works. Usually they're giving you a little tiny taste of what they consider to be some of their best content. If you find yourself jumping from one negative video to the next negative video to the next negative video, leaving comments trying to discredit the uploader or call them a hater or whatever, right? Look, if you were that confident about this game, you would not waste your time doing that, okay? And if you're sick and tired of videos like mine, popping up all over the place, there's just so many of them, maybe there's something to it. Maybe if there's more negative videos and negative comments about the game than positive ones, that's a sign that there's actually something wrong with the freaking game. Now I understand some people just hate for the sake of hating. I know that exists, but I assure you, you get more attention, you get more clicks, you get more money when you're kissing ass and pretending to get excited about everything. There's so much dishonesty in this industry, it's sad. And anytime a content creator seems to reach a certain level or status, they follow suit. They start shilling as well. That doesn't mean anyone with an optimistic viewpoint means that they're shilling. There's a difference, okay? Shilling is when you're getting paid to say something nice. Shilling is when you are saying things you really don't mean deep down inside for the sake of money, views, attention, all of the above. In any event, last but not least, for these people saying, oh, it's just not gangster enough for you and your gang-banging power fantasies. Dude, I'm playing a goddamn cat game and I'm loving every single minute of it. Do you know what I'm not happy about? This company trying to milk us, use the franchise as a way to do a cash grab, a low-effort endeavor The game is also showing signs of technical issues. You know, the insurance fraud over here chanting a multiplier together, and all of a sudden cars are literally disappearing in the background. A lot of red flags the reboot has. Pre-order the game if you must. But you're going to be one sad motherfucker when the game comes out and you realize all we were trying to do was warn you. Absolutely nothing bad can happen from canceling your pre-order and waiting for reviews. And for people that are like, oh, I'm just going to decide for myself, I don't care what anyone else has to say, that's all good. I just don't like the idea of donating money to super duper nerds who deep down inside hate gamers with a passion.